Hi. All right. This is the Colonists, my storage solution. So I had already started the video and then my phone rang through, which was annoying. So let me go back and do this really fast. What you're seeing here is I've got a baggie. This all kind of lays like this. So I'm going to sort of put everything back really fast. What you basically got is sort of all the flat stuff. So like the score pad and the cards and the weird tiles like the Chief Officer that you don't use until Era 4. And the blanks that come with the player boards and whatever, they just kind of lay on top of here. The baggie with all the meeples. I used a bigger baggie than I needed, so that way the baggie would go a little flatter. Then, a bigger baggie means that I can spread it out more so it'll lay flat on top. You'll see why I need that in a minute. And I've got each era of its own tiles. There's an era 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4 baggie here. And the level, these are literally only the place tiles. The cards, each era the cards are just in a bag. I thought about doing deck boxes. Brandon Kemp was talking about doing deck boxes, but then I realized that baggies just take up less space, and space is such a premium here. Plus, it's just is easy. So each era has its own baggie. You'll notice that era 2, I have the third market just put in with the cards because it lays nice and flat there compared to the tile baggies, which are already kind of a problem. And then I have the 3 different levels of storage, each in their own small baggie, and I went with really small baggies so that way they could sort of stack like that. See how that works? They take up this little notched area there. And of course, the colonies. And then I have these. I got 4 of these from Hobby Lobby. These are options. And I use these. 2 of these are for the goods. So as you can see, I've got, what I did is I put each good and the refined version next to it. So wood, then planks, then mud, then bricks, or clay and bricks. Tools, I did not separate them into 3s and 1s. I figure it's not that hard. And then the 1 coins. And the reason why I did 1 coins right away is because this box is basically all you need to start the game. The only other thing that you might use is food, but generally speaking, it doesn't seem like you bother going and getting food very much early in the game. So this 1 box will get you rolling when the game starts. And then this box over here is sort of what you do for the second half of the game. So you'll start to need food once you get into the citizens or whatever. And of course, garments, you'll use, ore and then turn it into iron and coal. And then 5s and 25s. You might need to get into those a little faster if you do a really pub-heavy strategy early on in the game, but it seems like this just seems like an organized way to keep things rolling, and that way you only really have to open this 1 box to first start. And the other 2 of these boxes are for the buildings. So I've got this box here, which the houses came a little bit askew, so I'll kind of rejiggle those maybe in a second. But you have the buildings that provide meeples, so farms, flats, and houses there. And then production buildings, these are all buildings that make stuff. So this entire stack is just foresters' houses that of course have hollows on the back. This whole stack here are hunting lodges, and then these are the tailor shops and whatever. All right, so that's this one. And then the second one is, I'm sorry for the clunkiness here, holding the phone and you only using 1 hand. I'm not as good at it as Rado is. I've got the special buildings, the star buildings here, and these are not alphabetical. They're in order of when you're likely to need them. So there's factories and libraries and institutes early, and then you've got the customs office and the boarding house and the stables later. And then here are all of the money production buildings. These are all of the buildings. I'm sorry if I got the angle wrong before, by the way, sorry about that. These are all the buildings that just provide cash. So pubs and then theaters and casinos. And because casinos and factories are the back sides of each other, I have half of them turned around back here as casinos and then half of them turned around as factories up here. because I always forget what's on the backside of what, so that's annoying. Then here I've got the little storage things that you need for the the storage things that you slot into your board, the first player marker and the era marker right there. And then here are the embassies. So they are in alphabetical order, and when there's a meeple, because there are for 3 of them, right? The meeple is used as a separator. So the Alchemist Embassy, and then the Alchemist, the Altruist Embassy, and the Altruist, the Envoy, the Industrialist, then the Laborer, and then the Green Meeple. There you can see him tucked in here, right behind the Laborer or whatever. There we go. And then the rest of them are just alphabetical. So this way I feel like everything kind of stays sorted. And in this last bin, you only really regularly access the left-hand side of this, and then the right side as people need the specific embassy that they want for whatever colonies are already in the game. The way that I figured it. Oh, there we go. Hey, look at that. That looks a lot better when you focus it. So, all right. So that's this. And then the last thing is I got one of these little guys, and I just put the player pieces in this. So this is, normally I do player packs, which I thought I would like, but in this case, it's just as easy to just have all the pieces in one player color that are just in its own little compartment here. So this is, the 4 colors, and I've got the 2 farms and the 6 tools and the 1 food and the 4 pawns and 2 meeples and whatever for each color just right in there. So that way you just open this once, get out everybody's stuff, and then get it away. And because it happens to work out that it's a 4-player game, these little things were, I think, $2 a pop at Hobby Lobby. Also Options brand, free plug. Please think about sponsoring the Cubist. Anyway, these were great, and I just bought a whole mess of these little 4-slot things that I felt like I could use for a couple of different games. So, and this just ended up being a perfect use for them. So, and then of course in the bottom is the rule book and the player boards and all that stuff. I just kind of put everything flat at the bottom of the box. This is sort of what I do. And when you put this all back away, it ends up working really well. Obviously it all fits, and there's no box left when you're done, which is nice. So you don't end up with any kind of a lift on the box at all. It all fits right back in there and lays perfectly, and it doesn't jiggle much at all, so I liked it. So that is my sorry about that. That is my storage solution for the Colonists. I just thought this might be useful. All told, I spent, if you don't count the baggies that I already had, I think this is about $15 spent at Hobby Lobby. And it stores it pretty well, and I think we're going to actually, the first play of it with this storage will be kind of in about 10 minutes, which is part of why I'm doing this video, because I got to unpack it anyway. So there you go. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I will catch y'all on the flip side. Take it easy.